Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you on Friday, July 7th on behalf of Arcadia Economics. And a quick video today. You may have seen that the latest labor report was out. Seems like it was actually a little stronger than expected. Although, like many of these Wall Street indicators, the question is, does it really matter? Are the numbers really accurate? And what can we take from that? So the first question, or actually I'll take the first two, does it matter and are the numbers really accurate? Again, the labor number is one of the biggest ones Wall Street wets itself over every month. Although, like most of the data, in terms of really trying to understand what's going on and the strength of the economy, I stopped putting much stock in the numbers. Simple reason for that is that all of these numbers that come from the BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I believe, which basically calculates all these numbers that are supposed to tell you whether we're actually hiring or the economy is strong. Yet what often gets left out is how often these formulas are manipulated for what I would say are political purposes or to make things look one way or another. Like a lot of Wall Street, give people a certain idea, which leads them to invest a certain way, which the banks often are incentivizing and then taking the other half of the trade. We've seen this cycle before. Certainly, the labor statistics is one of the ones it's used for. And just to give you an example of why I want to say it's meaningless, because I guess the value that I take out of it is that while I don't think the number itself is accurate, similarly, if people are going, it's like poker, maybe you have this or you don't, but if you do something and someone else reacts and you can understand how they're going to react and use that plan effectively, can be good. So there's value in that, but in terms of, are you really getting a picture of whether this is an accurate representation of U.S. hiring? Keep in mind that they just stop counting the people who've been out of work for so long that have given up looking for jobs. A lot of the formula switch, the formula has been switched over the years. And in fact, a good way to get what I would say, if you really do want to have a good, accurate idea, it's a great website called Shadow Stats by a guy named John Williams, who actually just takes, and I found this was helpful when things collapsed back in 2008 and everyone was looking, is this the worst depression, worse than the Great Depression? And we saw the unemployment numbers were, I don't know, maybe it was 6, 7, or 8%. Yet, if you actually use the same formula that they used back during the Great Depression, the number would be over 20%. So, I mean, not a small gap, and shows the magnitude of how numbers are good if they're honest. If they're a little if they're a little less than honest, then you want to be careful what you take away. And maybe one last quick example I'll leave you with, because this was one of my favorites from a couple of years back, where Obama was suggesting ideas of how to reduce the deficit, and one of the plans was to alter the inflation formula. So basically, there's a cost of living adjustment. So all the people who are on fixed income or Medicare or Social Security, if the inflation is really high, the government has to pay out more. So here was Obama saying, let's tweak the formula so we don't have to pay out as much. And I remember just finding it interesting, because it was one of those things where I don't think the person has realized they're openly advocating lying to get money, which is really, imagine that type of arrangement in basically any of these numbers, and you start to get the idea. I wish I could come out here and tell you something different about how the great faith I have in the system, or how people are being honest. Unfortunately,